Hey guys, Chelsea from Attention to Details, and today I have my friend's explorer, and he had a headliner seal that leaked down into his carpets. It created mold and mildew and just a really bad mildew smell in the vehicle. So we're going to try to help him out and see what we can do to remove the odor. So I'm going to kind of take you quickly through my steps on how I would try to approach a situation like this. You may not get it in the first round, you may have to do multiple applications, but we're going to see what we can do. Let me show you kind of what's going on in the interior and what he tried to do to abate the odor, and then I'll show you my chemicals and process. I'm going to try to make this a real quick video. It doesn't need to be a 25-minute video, just a quick second of each process, so that way for those of you who just want to get to the meat of the issue, we can fix this problem that you might have for either you or for your customer. So let's see what's going on. Alright, so as soon as you kind of put your nose in the vehicle, even before you even put it, honestly, you can smell the mildew smell, as is evident from the ridiculous amounts of little trees that honestly are not doing any good. The customer tried to put baking soda down all over the carpets, give me 1 second, to try to absorb the odor, the water, moisture, whatever was going on. We've got a lot of, dirt, we've got pet hair, so we've got to do a basic interior cleaning first and foremost. You could see, I think this back area over here was where a majority of it was, but he actually said that the main smell was coming from this area over here, and he was able to fix the leak. He was able to, get up as much of the liquid as possible, but now we've got a smell. My guess is that it's gone down into kind of the padding of the carpet. I'm not the type of detailer that's going to pull out the seats, pull out the carpet, pull out the padding. In some extreme situations, that may be what's necessary. I know, especially like some people who spill milk and it soaks through to the padding. Sometimes you do have to replace the padding. You're never going to fully get that smell out. But since this was water, we're going to try to do what we can do. I'm not guaranteeing 100% odor removal. We're definitely going to make a difference, so that way it's not quite so pungent and he can drive comfortably in his vehicle. So let me show you my basic equipment and tools. Alright, so first and foremost, we're going to be using the 4-gallon rigid wet dry vac, 5.0 peak horsepower. This is perfect for auto detailing, especially if you're mobile. It's compact, short, storage, takes up minimal foot space. I bought the auto detailing kit just so that way I have a little bit more flexible, less rigid hose, and then I just have a standard crevice nozzle. I also have a long crevice nozzle, and then we're going to be using the Aqua Pro Vac. We're going to be doing hot water extraction, so we're going to put hot water in this, and we're actually going to be, I normally do not add any sort of chemicals into my rinse water. We're going to be adding a little bit of Superior Products Odor Eliminator, the concentrate, into our rinse water, just a small amount, probably an ounce or two, just because this is going to help kind of go after some of the odor causing bacteria. And we're also going to be using that in combination with Bonnet Pro Surround. This is their Omegazyme. This is an enzyme eater chemical that's going to go after odor causing bacteria. So between these two combined, hopefully we'll be able to kind of get to the root of the issue. We're also going to be using that in conjunction with, I have a McCulloch 1375 steamer. So what we're going to do is, on the interior, a thorough vacuum where you have to go after the pet hair. So we're going to be using, which one is that? Give me 1 second. We're just going to be using fabric softener, diluted in a water bottle, mist it on the surface to try to help remove any of the static properties of the pet hair. We're going to do that obviously after we do an initial vacuum, try to vacuum up as much of the loose baking soda as possible because we don't want to cake that back down. But we're going to do our pre-vacuum, mist with fabric softener, go after the pet hair. We're also going to be using our drill brush to agitate the carpets, get up as much of the loose soiling as possible. Some people would probably say, just do a thorough cleaning, use a product like this. And while this is a really decent smell, my customers actually really enjoy it when I've used it in the past. This is not going to necessarily be a long-term fix. This is just a temporary solution. You want to go after the root of the issue, and that is the bacteria that is causing the odor, creating the mildew. So the customer fixed the seal. He, was able to get up as much of the moisture. That's step one. Step two, from there, is try to remove as much loose soiling, dirt, things like that. You want to use steam, hot water extraction, chemicals that are going to go after the bacteria. Let that dry, and then our third step is we're going to be doing a ozone treatment. Now, key with any ozone treatment, if you've done shampooing work ahead of time, your carpets, mats, everything needs to be dry on the interior, because when you combine H2O and O3, which is ozone, you're adding that extra oxygen to the O2, it makes hydrogen peroxide. And so what can happen is it will actually start to bleach the tips of the fibers of your carpet, mats, things like that. So you want to get the vehicle as dry as possible. So what we're going to do, it is a summer day. We're going to try to get to the shampooing first and foremost, get that out of the way. If we have to, we'll turn the heat on in the vehicle on our floorboards, let that run for a little bit. If we have to, work in the heat, so be it, but you don't want to cause damage to the carpets. If you can't wait to do the ozone treatment, have the customer come back or do it another day. You don't want to rush this process. You want to make sure everything is nice and dry. So we're going to get through the interior cleaning quickly. Even if I have to do the leather after the ozone treatment, I can do that, because when you run your ozone, what we'll do is probably start off in an hour treatment because it's pretty pungent. We'll do an hour-long treatment. You want to have a window cracked. There are some, huge industrial ones that will have a tube that actually feeds air into the vehicle. Mine is more of just a residential version, so what I'll do is I'll have the window cracked just slightly, just so that way I have a fresh supply of oxygen coming in, because for the ozone generator work, you need to have a fresh supply of oxygen. Have the air on recirculate full blast. You want to have your carpets, mats, everything lifted up, all your compartments lifted up, because that smell has permeated into everything. So we're going to clean our vents, we're going to clean all of our compartments, we're going to clean under every nook and cranny. We're going to treat this as we would almost like a smoke odor removal, but it's mildew smell. So get this as clean as possible, and then we'll go after it with the ozone treatment. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. I'm going to try to show you a couple seconds of each process, show you the after, what everything looks like nice and clean, and then I'll show you the ozone generator that I'm using. Very affordable way to go after odors, and hopefully we'll be able to make this an improvement for the customer. And that way the little trees are more of a decoration versus a necessity. So So we finished vacuuming everything, got everything like dry vacuumed as far as using a detail brush, went ahead, did our door jambs, get that out of the way, so that way we don't have any sort of overspray. So you can see big improvement as far as aesthetics, but we still have an odor. So we've got our Aqua Pro Vac filled with hot water over there. We actually already did the carpets and mats. We have them laying out in the sun just to try to dry off a little bit. We added some of the Superior Products odor eliminator into the hot water, the rinse tank. We've got our steamer ready, and we're gonna go ahead. What we're first gonna do, since everything is vacuumed, we're gonna hit this with our chemical, which is the Surround 4-to-1. Alright, so you can see we are done with our vacuum, our shampoo extraction. We've got everything as much cleaned as we could as far as removing the baking soda. Just kind of quickly showing you the interior of the carpets. So next up, we are going to go ahead and scrub all of our plastics, our leather, get everything cleaned. While we're doing that, I have all the doors open. It is a hot day, and I also have the heat on the floorboards just to try to accelerate drying time. I can tell you that it is starting to dry. This was the last section that I did. This will be a good test to kind of see. They're pretty much dry, maybe a couple of areas. So we're gonna just keep the heat on while we work on cleaning all the plastics. We're not going to dress it, because when you do your ozone treatment, I have found if you have a dressing down, it can kind of make it streaky, because what's happening is the ozone is essentially going to cause a little bit of oxidation to your plastics. So you actually want to put some sort of conditioner down afterwards just to replenish any of the oils, conditioners that you're pulling out from the ozone treatment. So we're cleaning, and then we'll get our ozone generator ready to go. Alright, I feel like I am a peeping Tom on my own ozone generator, but I had to get it running just because we're running out of time. So you can see here, I have it sitting on the console. I'm going to do a 40-minute session. I have the air, I don't know if you can see it, I have the air on max AC and recirculate, and I also have the extension cord running through this window with a crack. Now, I can smell the ozone through the window, so that tells me it's working. I don't know if you can see, it's very hard to see through the reflection, but I have all of the mats kind of rolled up, standing up tall, so that way I can get underneath of the mats, as that was the problem area. But I wanted to get the mats in there because they also kind of had that sour smell. So if this was a smoke odor treatment, then what I would do is open up all the glove compartments, pull out the seat belts, everything. But since majority of the smell is just in our carpets and in our air conditioning system, we are simply just focusing on the carpets. Everything is dry. So we're going to do a 40-minute session, and what I'm going to do, you can see this is just a very basic residential ozone generator. I've had really good results with it. I actually contacted the company because initially I had bought one with a higher it was more powerful. I can't remember the exact wattage on it, or milligrams per hour that it was able to control, but they actually told me that the one I initially bought was overkill, and they recommended this size for automobiles. The one that I had originally purchased was more for smoke removal when you have like fire in your house, and so it handles a larger square footage. So this one is more appropriate for a vehicle. So what I'm going to do, I'll put the link for the product down below. And I'm also going to just continue to run this treatment. Guys, we are done, and we've aired the vehicle out for about 20 minutes. We probably have another 10 to go. I can already tell a huge difference. It's just got a slight chemical smell, but really improved. Got lots of things that have been shitting. Here we go. So hopefully this resolves the issue for our customer. We got everything cleaned, all the dirt, pet hair removed. So we're gonna just, at this point, work on our UV protectant, apply spray wax on all of our plastics, and then do our leather conditioning, and we're done. If I put my head in here, slight chemical smell, but that's about it. So I hope this helps some of you guys that are trying to resolve the issue of mildew smells. Again, it may not, it may need multiple treatments. Sometimes if it's so severe, if it's gone down into the padding, unfortunately, sometimes the only thing to do is pull everything out, pressure wash it, use your enzyme eater chemicals, let it dry out in the sun, and see if that is effective. But for the most part, on a majority of situations, being able to remedy it this way will get the results that you're looking for. You might just have to do it a second treatment or maybe longer with the ozone, but essentially that should do it. You could always recommend to the customer replace their cabin filter, because a lot of that odor is probably in their cabin filter, so when they turn their AC back on, it's just going to kind of redistribute the old musty smell. So it's always good just to go ahead and do that when you're doing it. But yeah, everything from head to toe has been cleaned and ozone treatment, and hopefully we're going to be able to see a difference for our customer. So if the customer comes back and says, hey, I can still smell it, I'll be sure to update that, because I want to be transparent with you guys. But I just thought I would help for some of you who maybe you can offer this as a service, or maybe you have this problem in your own vehicle and you want to try to take care of it at home. It is a little bit more costly. The ozone generator is about under $100. The chemicals, things like that, you can pick some up off of Home Depot that are generic. I just use professional carpet cleaning solutions because I find that they're a little bit more effective. But for the most part, clean dirt, shampoo, use your proper chemicals, let everything dry, ozone treatment, and then replenish all of your polishes and dressings, and that should be it. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.